Well, holy cow, if you try to stay away from the Jay-Z, P. Diddy insanity spiral, I will try to bring some clarity. Some things still are like really weird. This is me reconstructing it as best as possible, but it is really strange and out there. So please give this channel a chance. Please like and subscribe, and please consider looking at my other channels, giving them a chance, and liking and subscribing to them. And please consider channel memberships. All right, so this is mind-blowing on many levels, and it's all going back to the Busby. So he's in a very difficult situation. So let me just get him and P. Diddy out of the way and where he is. So apparently he is withdrawing from various lawsuits. So for those who don't know, Tony Busby allegedly had over 100 clients charging P. Diddy with many serious accusations, many serious crimes. He is withdrawing from a lot of these lawsuits because apparently he cannot practice law in the New York, or at least a particular district in New York. Now you're like, you didn't know that? Huh? So formally he is withdrawing from various lawsuits because he's not allowed to practice law in a certain district where P. Diddy is being prosecuted. So that's like, seriously? You didn't know that? That just sounds all kinds of suspicious, but okay, fine. Uh, it happens. Maybe there was just an oversight. All right, it seems weird. But now we're moving on to Jay-Z, and wait for it. This is going to get a little confusing because the Jane Doe, again, we're not impugning her credibility. It could be she was telling the truth, but not about Jay-Z. And this is explosive and mind-blowing. So strap in because it's going to get a little weird. So initially, the Jane Doe was charging Jay directly with the accusation. It's YouTube. I want to stress this is an allegation of assault. The lawsuit has been dropped, right? Her lawsuit with Jay-Z has officially been dropped. Why? Well, the Jane Doe is alleging that Busby, that's right, he's the lawyer in her case too. She's alleging that it was Busby who pressured her to have the lawsuit with Jay, and she's dropping the suit. Okay, I might think, well, maybe Jay pressured her. You know, he's a rich guy, he's very powerful. No, because she spoke with two investigators, one male, one female, and they asked her directly, did he do it? Is he guilty of this crime? And she admits, no. He was there at this party. This is going back to 2000 when she was allegedly 13. She went to this party that's related to the MTV Music Award. It didn't happen at the MTV Music Awards itself. We'll be very careful. This apparently was a party related to the MTV event. Jay-Z was there. He was physically present, but he was not guilty of doing anything to her. And she affirmed that to these investigators. They asked her directly, and she said, yes, he is not guilty of that. So now this is getting very confusing. Then you might think, well, why'd you have the lawsuit? That's one question with Busby. And second of all, why did you name Jay-Z? Because again, it could be she's telling the truth about other things happening at this party. So it could be she's still a victim, but Jay-Z is not guilty. Again, want to be very clear. I want to be brutally honest because it's better off to be brutally honest with you guys. I am a big Jay-Z fan. However, with this situation, I'm just looking at it as best I can. I've done things in legal philosophy. I've gone to various court cases, like local courts, not like big court cases. So I do have some background in journalism, even with music and film journalism. Okay, so that's my background. That's my biases. This sounds really weird. So, because again, when this all started, Jay and Jay-Z's lawyers made a really simple, obvious argument saying, there's nothing here. He doesn't know her. She's just trying to get money. She's basically trying to scare him into settling the suit before they go to trial. And apparently, that is exactly what happened. So she's saying she was pressured to do the suit, naming him, naming Jay-Z, but he wasn't really guilty. So it looks like Busby may have coerced a client, which is not legal as far as I know. So this is very disturbing. So in response, Busby released a recording of her, and he asked her directly, this is Busby, the lawyer, okay, they say they have you on tape where you're denying that the alleged assault happened. Is this true? And she's lying to Busby, or she didn't remember, or is this from another event or a different timeline? It's very confusing. And he includes himself. He's saying that, okay, they are saying I pressured, me, Tony Busby, pressured you to have the lawsuit. And she's like, no, 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 I never said that. Even though we have audio recording where she makes that accusation against Busby. So now we have multiple accusations and multiple admissions. So where do we stand? So the lawsuit is gone, but this is where it gets really crazy. In a formal legal declaration, she says, I'm choosing not to continue my lawsuit. However, I affirm that these things did take place. So ultimately, I'm not pursuing the lawsuit with Jay-Z. However, I never lied. I still told the truth. So she's saying something happened at the event with other people. I would assume that's what she's saying. So she's affirming she's still a victim, but of other people, but not Jay-Z. But that's the basis of the lawsuit. So yeah, this is very perplexing and confusing. And it does appear to be her. There appears to be a legit tape from legit investigators. And Jay-Z's lawyer is on the record saying, no, no, listen, Jay-Z doesn't know this woman, doesn't know this girl, never met this girl. He was at this event, right? This party did happen, right? They're not denying that, but this crime did not occur. This is just a total stranger who, for whatever reason, was pressured by her lawyer to put him into a lawsuit, but he's not guilty. And strangely, the Busby recording only is trying to vindicate him. He's trying to say, listen, I didn't pressure anybody. She came to me. We were doing the lawsuit in good faith. I thought she was telling the truth. So this is very confusing because you think to yourself, well, didn't you do your own interview? Did she lie to you? Right? Did she falsely misrepresent the events and you thought her testimony was good regarding this issue or you never asked? This is just very strange on so many levels. Like, it does appear, being cynical, the plan was they didn't have anything, but they were going to scare Jay-Z to be like, you know what, this is a very damning accusation. He would settle the lawsuit, and there you go. There'll always be the suspicion he's guilty, but again, when you settle a lawsuit, it is over. But let me get into the legalese for people who care. I think people are very confused about how American law works with civil suits. When you settle a civil suit, you settle a civil suit. It does not mean you admit you're guilty. It does not vindicate your innocence. It doesn't do either thing. So you can admit as a part of the settlement that you take responsibility, right? Like if you sue Walmart or a corporation or something, you could force them as a part of the settlement. You can force the party to say, yes, I'm guilty. I affirm I am guilty of this or that. However, technically speaking, by taking the settlement, you agree this issue is over, right? And presumably, the actual formality of the settlement, you both sides agree, okay, this is over. I'm not saying this person is guilty. I'm not saying they're technically innocent. The settlement is the settlement. It is over. Also, if you lose a settlement, if you lose in civil court, that does not mean you're guilty. Civil suits are different from, right, criminal cases. Now, with this one, it is weird. Like, you think to yourself, okay, is this a criminal case? It seems to be strictly a civil case. So you're like, wait a minute. If he's guilty of the crime, then why is this only a civil suit? It could be statute of limitations, various dilemmas, but it makes you suspicious if it's only a civil suit that, right, because again, this is illegal. You cannot just misrepresent or lie to the court. However, a civil suit, a civil court is not a criminal case. It's not a criminal court. Different, completely different animal. So even if you lose in a civil suit, doesn't mean you're guilty of any criminal act, even if in the civil suit, a criminal act is in question. That is how the civil courts work. So now this does not mean, again, I am a big fan of Jay-Z. I am suspicious about various things. Ironically, the most alarming thing about him is his association with P. Diddy. So it's deep irony that the most alarming thing about him is the P. Diddy connection, but there we are. So that you can have questions about Jay-Z. However, it appears legally speaking, both criminally and now civilly, he is not guilty. That does not mean he's innocent. That does not mean he's innocent of other accusations, but in this particular case, 2000 MTV party case, he is innocent. She is affirming, yes, he is innocent. So Yeah, it's a little confusing. So what does this mean? Because they've kept a low profile, right? Both Jay-Z and Beyonce. They did go public for the Lion King premiere because their daughter was in the Lion King, right? Ivory. So where do we stand? Because she's still saying, the Jane Doe is still saying, I told the truth. So yeah, it looks weird on both sides because you think to yourself, because let's be honest, Jay-Z has money. So it's like, why don't you just let the lawsuit go, disprove her claims, or just prove she's a liar in court? It could be he's like, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. Just get rid of it. But he was very aggressive. His lawyers were like, get rid of this case, dismiss it. And the judge initially was like, no, the lawsuit is going forward. So he was acting a little suspiciously, but this should be really a declaration to people. Listen, lawyer up. Lawyering up is not admission of guilt. That said, your lawyers can act wisely or badly. Here they were being very aggressive, which is suspicious, but again, that's what you pay your lawyers for. So yeah, I'll be honest, it sounded a little suspicious, him just trying to get rid of the lawsuit, but apparently he's been vindicated. There's nothing to the lawsuit. That does not mean he's innocent of everything, but in this particular case, he is innocent. What Busby's role in all this is very suspicious. Did he coerce testimony? We'll have to wait and see. But the audio recording definitely puts her credibility and his credibility into doubt. But she could still be telling the truth, but not about Jay Z. And that is where we are. So the Jay Z part of this is over for now, at least with this legal case. But there are other cases, other accusations, but that will be for another time. Thank you for listening.